Welcome to the Trading Bell Show. We are here at Two Rivers, which has been gazetted, by the way, as the new special economic zone for services. And of course, I'm here to speak to James Mworia, the CEO of Centum Investments, to understand what does it mean for the company and for the shareholders. But first, as I get ready, let's take a look at his profile. Dr. Mworia is the Group Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Centum Investment Company PLC. Dr. Mworia holds a Bachelor of Law degree from the University of Nairobi and a doctorate in business from Machakos University. He is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, a CFA charter holder, a chartered global management accountant, and a fellow of the Kenyan Institute of Management and a member of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya. He serves on several boards, including those of Sidian Bank Limited, Isuzu East Africa Limited, and Lewa Wildlife Conservancy. Dr. Mworia was appointed as Chancellor of Machakos University in October 2016. James Mworia, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here this morning.
We miss you here on Trading Bell.
Yes, I was looking forward to be here.
Yes.
And I'm glad it's finally happened.
Excellent. Yeah. It's good to have you here.
Thank you, Maina.
I have a very general question to start this conversation with. Yeah. How is business?
It's exciting.
It's exciting.
It's exciting because these are challenging times. Trends are changing. And the excitement is in having to innovate yourself, align different businesses to different trends, different challenges, different opportunities. So it's busy times.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yesterday, the CS, I saw him on a tweet, and there was news all around that Two Rivers has been gazetted as a special economic zone for services.
Yes.
And I think that's quite an impactful, announcement for your business and all. And I just wanted to understand from you, and what does this mean first, and what does this as well mean for you as Centum?
Okay, thank you. So, Two Rivers, let me start with the what. Two Rivers is about, the total land in Two Rivers is about 106 acres. It's a mixed-use master planned development.
Okay.
And so far, we've only developed about 20% of the total approved development.
Oh, okay.
So what has been approved for use as an SEZ for services is 64 acres of the 106.
Okay.
So it's part of the larger master plan development. So for example, the mall is not part of the area that has been zoned as a special economic zone, but the North Tower has been zoned as a special economic zone.
Okay.
So the Special Economic Zone Act is a 2015 act that defines how you then create special economic zones.
All right.
And one of the specified uses is business parks. So business parks are recognized as one of the businesses that can be within the special economic zone regime. And a special economic zone comes with a range of fiscal incentives.
All right.
So those incentives include lower corporation tax rates, lower taxes on withholding taxes on interest, dividend, repatriation of royalties, work permits, etc. So that is the legislative regime. But a special economic zone is a customs territory. So it must relate to a specific site.
Okay.
And for you to be licensed as a special economic zone, it can either be public land or private land.
All right.
And there are requirements that are provided. For example, if you're looking to be a special economic zone for services, you should have the necessary amenities. Amenities means you have housing, you have hospitality, you have healthcare facilities, you have retail facilities, you have office facilities.
Which you have.
Which we have. And so Two Rivers was ideally suited because unlike many other special economic zones that have been muted, where it's a green field where you're then coming to do the developments, the developments have already been done. So not just the amenities, within Two Rivers. So you have what you have within Two Rivers, which is the offices. We already had offices. By the end of this year, we'll have completed 850 apartments.
Okay.
You have the shopping mall. You have already a hotel.
Yeah.
But then also around Two Rivers, you have international schools.
Right.
You have no less, and when we counted, you have no less than 7 international schools.
That's true.
You have another 2 or 3 malls within a very short distance of Two Rivers. You have a range of residential accommodation. You then have the Westlands link road from the airport.
You're right.
Then you have the Red Hill Road that are also the accessibility.
You're right.
Then we also have the infrastructure, so the power. So we have Two Rivers Power Company. You have the water. So the amenities already in place. So it was a ready to go site.
Okay.
Now, part of government's objectives was to grow trade and investment in the area of services, because services, the main raw material is human capital. And Kenya is not richly endowed in minerals, but we're richly endowed in human capital. And then we also endowed in an environment where businesses want to set up. So if you look at, there was a recent expert survey about Kenya's attractiveness to expats. And we are in the, I think we're number 1 in Africa. And
Beautiful.
we're in the top 10 globally. So the positioning of Two Rivers is as an ideal zone for the establishment of enterprises that are seeking to tap into the global market, services market.
Okay.
You can come and set up here and enjoy the fiscal incentives and also the other business facilitation incentives that come with being an SEZ enterprise. So that's what it means.
Okay.
In terms of
impact to
let me first speak about impact to the country.
Yes.
The sectors that we are targeting are several. They are BPOs, so business process outsourcing entities.
Okay.
In a country like Philippines, the BPO industry employs over 1.2 million people.
Wow.
And BPOs are largely employing graduates. We are producing no less than 1 million graduates a year. So there's a trend globally because of decline in population in Western countries. There's a shortage of skills.
You're right. I've
and
seen
because
that.
of technology, a lot of jobs are being offshored. And Kenya also has an advantage being an English-speaking country.
Yeah.
So there's demand for, or
The
Kenya
skills.
is an attractive destination for BPOs.
Yeah.
Now, when you overlay that now with an enabling environment and a fiscal regime, then it's attractive. So BPO sector.
Yeah.
The advantage of BPO sector is that then you have an opportunity to create jobs that were not there before. And these jobs are not contingent on how the Kenyan economy is performing.
Yeah.
You are serving the global economy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're also talking of tech companies. There's a trend also where tech companies are moving from China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, sort of diversifying to various other locations. Kenya is also a signatory to a number of international agreements. We've just seen the EU has been concluded.
Yeah.
We're also working on the strategic trade and investment partnership with the US. So Kenya has an opportunity to be a location for global technology companies that can be located in such locations.
Very true.
The third area is funds. So a lot of funds that invest in sub-Saharan Africa today are domiciled in Mauritius. We would like to be able to offer an alternative to Mauritius in Kenya. And again, those kind of funds can be domiciled here. This is to also deal with the issue of the current account deficit, if you can get permanent capital moving here. So it's about employment creation.
Yeah.
It's around growing payroll taxes.
Absolutely.
Payroll, if you drive employment, you're also going to drive payroll taxes.
Absolutely.
Payroll taxes are competing with value-added tax as our major source of taxation.
You're right.
Tax revenues in the country. It's also around the current account deficit because you're then exporting services. And Kenya, we have a competitive advantage in the export of services. So that's a macro benefit to the country. For us as Centum, our subsidiary, called the Two Rivers Land Company, that is going to be the SEZ developer.
Okay.
So the SEZ developer is the entity that now develops the buildings that will be used by the SEZ enterprises.
Okay.
So that's what it means for us, is that you then have an outlet for the supply we have here. So we can develop about 1.2 million square meters of development bulk here. And so you have offtake for that.
Okay.
And ultimately, whether you are renting it or selling it, if you rent it, these products will probably find their way into the market in the form of income REITs, in the form of investment products to funds, which might be generating dollar-denominated income. Yeah.
Wow. It's going to be a game changer from what I see. And I feel like one of the questions that I had planned to ask you later on was about the real estate, appetite that we've been seeing. Just generally, the real estate has not been doing super well.
Yeah.
This feels like it's going to answer that with this opening.
Yeah, you see, what we're doing in real estate is not an end in itself.
Yes.
It's an enabler to driving productivity. And so when the economy is not doing, the domestic economy has the challenges it has, you also look at what are the opportunities globally. And if you look at the opportunities globally, is what I was explaining to you, there's a shortage of skills.
Yeah, you're right.
Because of a global trend around declining populations. If you read the latest edition of The Economist, they're talking about declining populations in many parts of the world. Actually, Africa is the only continent where you'll have a growth in population. And most of the labor will be on the African continent. You have the rise of right-wing governments in many developed countries. So they are anti-immigration. You then have technology, adoption and offshoring of jobs. That means many jobs that are required to be done in different parts of the world do not physically have to be done in those parts of the world.
You're right.
So you then take your real estate as an enabler, you overlay it with physical environment in partnership with government to then say, how can we enhance incomes of people here who are then going to be the consumers of our real estate?
You're right.
So it's about elevating this play from just producing brick and mortar to now producing a destination that is a driver of productivity. And in that way, then you have demand for the underlying real estate. And I think it's a huge opportunity, not just for Two Rivers, but for Kenya and many African countries if we exploit it.
All right. I'm sure there are businesses that are watching and even international businesses that would really want to tap into this new gazettement. And the question then will be, how do they tap into that so that at least they can set up if they want to do that?
So I think the ones that are watching are probably potential SEZ enterprises.
You're right.
So you may be an international professional organization or whatever it is. All you need to do is we are setting up a one-stop center here, which has a private sector face. So that on the back end we deal with government, so that we can be able to give you a certain guaranteed standard of service. You just need to contact us and make an application because you have to be licensed as an SEZ enterprise. We walk you through the process. It should take no more than 30 days for you to be licensed. And we have space that is immediately available. So we have currently about 15,000 square meters, which is about 150,000 square feet of space that is immediately available. Based on the offtake, we'll continue constructing more space. We have experience constructing residential and commercial. It's easier to develop office space than it is to develop commercial space. Then it's easier to develop commercial than it is to develop residential space. So it's a very straightforward process. SEZA, which is under the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, is very facilitative in terms of licensing those particular entities to then come into this particular space. So just visit our website, www.centum.co.ke, and the steps are there.
There's one word I must hear you say. For the shareholder at Centum, this is good news.
No, it's good news. Of course, it's good news for our shareholders. It's good news for the economy. For our shareholders to do well, the economy must do well. And Centum must play a role in. It takes few enterprises to catalyze things and to transform, to be agents of transformation, and that's what Centum is all about. It's that entity that takes risk, that is at the forefront of doing new things in the economy. So for our shareholders, this I think should be excellent news here.
All right, there you have it. We're going to take a short break right here, speaking matters Centum and their new development. We'll be right back with more. Welcome back to the Trading Bell Show. We are here with James Mworia, CEO Centum Investments, really getting to understand how the new developments are and how the business landscape is doing, especially on their subsidiaries. Welcome back, James.
Thank you very much.
And I really look forward to how this is going to turn out, because really we need a lot of these new developments. But first, when you sit here, there are so many companies under your purview, and shareholders are very keen as well to understand how things are going there. And let's talk about the share buyback, because you announced that you wanted to buy back 10% of the shareholding.
Yes.
And how is that going?
No, I think it's coming along well. The objectives of the share buyback were several. One was to give those shareholders who wish to sell their shares an opportunity to sell their shares at a price that is not at a huge discount
Yeah.
to where we were when we started this particular exercise.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, when we started the exercise, the share price was somewhere between 850 and 9 shillings. And we've managed to maintain it at that level.
You're right.
So whoever has wished to sell their shares has been able to sell their shares. The second objective was, because in our own view, the price is at a huge discount to the real value of the company, was to give value to the remaining shareholders by allowing them, through the company, to buy back the shares at a significant discount. So it was a win-win between those who wish to sell their shares for various reasons, and those who wish to remain. So, and the way we've typically done it, our broker typically comes in towards the end of the market trading. So we are sort of an underwriter and pick up any unsold shares. So we are not interrupting the way the market would ordinarily trade. So if you wish to buy the shares, you can buy them. You have first priority. But if there are any shares left on the board hanging, which may create an overhang, or where we want our shareholders to be able to have sold the shares. So it was a liquidity mechanism for our shareholders. So I think to that extent, we've achieved our objectives.
It's good to know. And it's still ongoing till...
It's still ongoing. Right? It's an 18-month...
Okay.
We're given an approval for 18 months.
All right.
With an upper limit of buying up to 10% of the shares, about 60 million shares.
Okay.
And that process is still ongoing.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's now move on to your other subsidiary, the banking sector. And CDN Bank, you had some announcement here and there, some potential buyers. I don't know what happened, but maybe you could shed some light and, you know, what are the latest that we have in that sector?
I think the banking sector is specifically around CDN. Yes, we had the announcement that we're going to exit, and we had signed with a potential buyer. As happens with many of these agreements, they have a long stop date, and the long stop date came and passed. We extended it once, twice, and we announced that the deal had fallen through. Which is something that is happens in this kind of M&A transactions.
You're right.
So it remains our subsidiary. It is doing well. We had certain constraints as Tier 2 banks. One is the pricing of loans because of the higher cost of funds. We had our risk-based pricing models approved, so we're able to price loans at rates that are more reflective of the risk and the cost of funds that we are taking. So it's I think the environment has had its challenges in terms of the underlying economy, increasing interest rates, but the relaxation of the regulations has also created certain opportunities. So you have had some relief in other areas.
Okay. I almost jumped into that conversation and asked with this finance bill, how are things on your end? But let's not have that conversation for now. Because I'm curious to know. Because from where I sit, there's a lot of creativity that comes around such investments and what you are doing, and we appreciate that. What are your plans 5 years from now? Are you aiming at this region? We have seen a lot of corporates really expanding regionally as well and the likes. Is that some of your strategic plans in your purview and the likes?
For CDN Bank specifically?
Yes.
Yeah, CDN Bank, our objective was to grow it to be a leading enterprise bank. And if you recall, when we acquired it in 2014, late 2013, early 2014, it was a microfinance institution, a bank. Today, I think we've achieved that objective. It is a well-known, well-established brand in the SME space, in the enterprise banking space. So we're obviously seeing what more we can do to scale it up. Initially, we're going to exit. So that mission was going to be undertaken by the new shareholders, but we're still there. So we carry on.
You're still working on it?
We're still working on it. We carry on, and I think you've seen they continue to launch new products. They continue to enter into new partnerships. So it's an ongoing journey.
All right. What about you as a group as well? Any eyes regionally? Anything that you're planning for? I know this is me letting you get some secrets out. The way we typically do it as Centum. Centum is an investment company. Yes.
So our big role is to look for new acquisitions. Secondly, is to make our companies better.
You're right.
So, for example, Two Rivers pivoted from being just a developer to an SEZ. That is something we have to do as an investor. And we've done that for a lot of our enterprises, including move KREP from KREP to CDN. The list goes on. Or move our land holdings to a real estate company called Centum. So that's always our business. And some of these companies have regional opportunities. So for Centum, for example, we are looking at it being a regional entity because the demand for housing cuts across the entire region. It's not just in Kenya. Kenya, Uganda. When I was at the Africa CEO Forum, I had an engagement with some people in Tanzania, Congo. There's need for these products. So we are supporting our companies to see the extent to which they can scale across the region and be regional enterprises. Obviously, that makes them more valuable at the point when ultimately we need to exit and realize our returns. So that's our mission.
My part in short and my closing for you will be quite loaded. We have seen corporates move towards the ESG directions, and I'd like to hear from your end, how are you driving this as Centum? And the other part of the question is the headwinds that you are facing. And I know they could be different in every different sector, as you've said, but generally where you see it, I'm sure there are certain things that you're seeing. And I'm coming from a scope where a lot of businesses have not done well. And it's not just in Kenya. Globally, we are seeing sort of like a recession. And you're a captain that is captaining one that has a touch on the region as well. I don't know what you're seeing, what are the headwinds, and are you optimistic from your perspective?
Thank you. Let me start with that second question. You know, the headwinds are the headwinds. There's nothing you can do about it. But also there are tailwinds. And also there are opportunities. So for me as a leader, I prefer to look at where the opportunities are, where the trends are, and see how I can lead these companies and help them steer towards where the opportunities are. And even in this environment, there are a lot of opportunities. The market is changing significantly. There's the digitization trend. There's a lot of trends that are in the market. And this creates very interesting opportunities. There are opportunities that will emerge with Kenya signing all these trade agreements, whether it's with the EU, with the US, and those economies are doing well. They are still very robust. They are at full employment. So again, if we can use our competitive advantages being located here to tap into global markets, not just regional markets, but global markets, I think presents a lot of interesting opportunities. So I think the companies that will do well are the ones that are nimble, that are flexible, that are able to pivot with the trends, that are able to understand where the opportunities are and change and change course. That's why I started with saying that it's very exciting times. It's boring when there are no headwinds, when there's no change in trend.
We need some of these challenges.
We need some of these challenges because then you can create very interesting opportunities and unlock very significant opportunities. On the first question on ESG, you know, ESG is now an integral part of doing business. It's not one of those things you put on the side. I want to take a topical example. If you look at Terrific, Terrific, I think is going to work because we are addressing the needs of the day. We are addressing the societal needs of today. Anyone who comes into business addressing the issue of unemployment, you'll have a hearing with government. If you are a purveyor of a solution. So when a business aligns itself with the needs of its society, then you're in business. Then if you look at the other issues around the environment, and here we are talking about, say, for example, the use of green energy. Today at Terrific, we are at 1.2 megawatts. We're just in the process of doubling that to 2.4 megawatts. All these global enterprises want to understand the extent to which you are environmentally conscious. It's an emerging trend. It's not something you can run away from. So it is important for all of us to understand the extent to which our businesses can influence and be influenced by the society we're in and the environment we're in, and align effectively, because it opens a lot of new opportunities and windows for you. You know, you look at, say, financing for solar projects, captive solar projects. It's still very affordable. There's a lot of money available if you're focusing, say, on solar power. and the cost of that production is half the cost on a kilowatt hour basis of what we are getting the power from Kenya Power.
Okay.
So it can also give you an added competitive advantage. Yeah.
Wow. I have about 30 seconds to give you a parting shot. So please go ahead.
No, thank you very much. I think we're in exciting times. There are significant opportunities, but I really want to urge all of us to be excited with the opportunities that you have, and to see what it is that you can do with what you have to address the needs of our society today.
All right. Thank you so much, James.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah, there you have it right here. And we are now at Terrific. That is the Two Rivers International Finance and Innovation Center. It's going to be big, and the CEO is quite optimistic that this is going to be a game changer. And of course, we wish him well and good tidings as well as we do that. Right now, I leave you with the markets.